Getting into shape. Skill 10, chickens in a pen. Volume and capacity. Units of capacity are very similar to volume, but it specifically applies to how much liquid fits inside a 3D object. The most common units of capacity that we will use are millilitres, signified with M capital L, and litres, signified with capital L. Commonly, what you will do is you will calculate the volume of an object, and then after you have an answer, you will convert it to capacity. This will either be in mils or litres. The way you convert from volume to capacity depends on which units you want to start with and finish with. This is very similar to the conversions that we did in skill 1 with length, area and volume, although the conversions we need to do in skill 10 are much easier and the charts are much smaller. If we look in the orange text box on the right, we can see if we want to move from centimetres cubed to mils, we don't have to do any conversion at all. They are essentially the same. So if you had 20 centimetres cubed, it would be 20 mils. If you had 80 centimetres cubed, it would be 80 mils. So there's no conversion required if you want to go from centimetres cubed to mils. If you want to go from centimetres cubed to litres, we need to divide by 1000. So whatever your answer is in centimetres cubed, divide by 1000 and you'll be in litres. If you're starting off with metres cubed and you want to go to litres, you would need to multiply by 1000 to find out how many litres you've got. An example of doing a conversion from volume to capacity is here on the left with a triangular prism. If we calculate the volume of the triangular prism, we use our formula half times base times height of the prism, which is half times 4 times 3 times 8. The answer in volume is 48 centimetres cubed. But we want to go from centimetres cubed to millilitres. To do that, we check in our table. There's no conversion required, so 48 centimetres cubed is the same as 48 mils. Here we've got another example, and we're looking at a cylinder. The cylinder has a diameter of 5.4 metres and a height of 3 metres. We halve the diameter so that we've got a radius of 2.7 metres. Remembering, we find the volume first and then we convert to capacity. So we find the volume using the volume formula for a cylinder, pi times r squared times h, which is pi times 2.7 squared times 3, and it gives us a volume of 66.71 metres cubed. Now we want to go from metres cubed to litres. If we check the conversion up here, metres cubed to litres is times by 1000. So we times by 1000 and we get a final answer of 66,710 litres, which is a huge amount. The last example is where we have a shaded section in our prism. We do volume equals area times height, which is 40 times 8, and that gives 320 centimetres cubed. If we want to go from centimetres cubed to litres, we start off here, centimetres cubed. To get to litres, we divide by 1000. So we divide our answer by 1000 over here, and we get a final answer of 0.32 litres, which is quite small. So remember, when you want to find out a capacity, find out the volume first and then do your conversion to capacity. And that's it for skill 10. Splash!